You are welcome to another episode of Real Talk, but this time on Real Talk, people, it's gonna be a short one because I'm running some little errands everywhere, but we're gonna catch up with what we can catch up. And those of you who haven't actually joined in, please dial in, dial in. That's the word I would say to you. Just dial in, tune in, people, tune in. See ya, people, yeah. News from everywhere. First of all, let's just get through what we're hearing about Enebenechi, Eze. Eze, you guys know Crystal Palace, decent player, but I mean, the rounds going on is that Arsenal have already finally struck an agreement with Eze. See, people, yeah, this should be a very simple deal. Arsenal submitted a proposal to Eze and his agent, who aren't even difficult people per se. They're not difficult people. They saw the deal. They didn't haggle. They didn't ask any questions. They just said, you know what? Yeah, we love that deal, and that's what I want to see. Mind you, yeah, guys, yeah. When Eze was a much younger player, he was at Arsenal. I think Arsenal released him or something like that. But the truth of the matter is that Arsenal is still in his heart, and it hurt him. There was an interview a couple of months ago that he did, and he was saying, you know what, yeah, when Arsenal released me, I was distraught. I was kind of like depressed or something like that. But the thing there is that Arsenal have gone down to his agent with a proposal, and they liked it and they loved it, and it took them a few days to have discussions on personal terms, and I can gladly tell you right now that Eze actually, plus my contacts, everyone have been telling me that he has actually signed a deal with Arsenal pre-agreement. Now it's left for Arsenal to go to Crystal Palace with the right fee. And the thing there is that Crystal Palace don't even need to do any negotiations. They would just point teams straight ahead to the release clause of Eze, which makes complete sense because his release clause is about £68 million. But the other options Arsenal have actually been looking at in that scenario, in that position, is Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been looked upon. Nico Williams has been looked upon. Mind you, Nicole Williams has already agreed to go to Barcelona. But I'm hearing right now that that deal might collapse because Barcelona can't cope with the financials involved in that deal. Mind you guys, yeah, Barcelona have actually been having lots of financial issues, and it's they have to actually sell players to actually register new ones. So FC Barcelona in that deal still have a problem. I still heard that there's a window opening for Arsenal in that Nico Williams deal, which was their first choice for that left-hand side. But right now, Arsenal have it all figured out with this Eze agreement. It brings lots of difference to the Arsenal fold. And of course, we all know our manager, it kind of like has a thing for multi-dimensional players. And that's no surprise. If Eze comes down to the Arsenal, he brings several things. I would list them for you. Our moribund left-hand side of the pitch has been a very big problem for the Arsenal. Martinelli has made that place stink over the years. Trossard hasn't done any better. Mikel Arteta hasn't improved Trossard as a player. Trossard hasn't rediscovered any kind of form whatsoever that he had at Brighton, and it looks drab. And even per se, Trossard hasn't even agreed an extension deal that was offered to him, at the tail end of last season. And even within January, when he was offered another deal by Arsenal, he rejected it. Martinelli, I mean, you guys saw him last season, drab. A season before, drab. 3 seasons ago, he kind of like escaped with about 15, with a 15 goal haul, but that's not enough. When you're going for the title, yeah, you need to make sure that your front three are dialed in. Martinelli isn't dialed in. He doesn't have the goals. He doesn't have the assist. I mean, he's lost the space. He's not a guy for us, and he's not multi-dimensional in that you can't use him as a false nine. He can't play the number 8 role. You can't even tuck him in around that number 10 area to be able to, open up defenses, and kind of get in behind defenders pretty much because he's lost his space. He's lost his desire, and I think he needs a new challenge. But with Eze coming into the fray, it helps Arsenal, in more different ways than that we don't understand. Number one, he solves our left hand side crisis. Why I call it a crisis is that we're not getting enough goals from that area. We're not getting enough incursion from that area, no aggression in that area, no opening up in that area. It's mostly in the right hand side with Bukayo Saka trying to open up play, trying to carve out defenses, trying to run in behind defenders. And it's becoming a big, huge burden on Bukayo Saka, and it's straining and it's depressing because each year in, year out, you can't actually go for the title. You can't win anything. And this is a bigger problem, at the helm of affairs with Arsenal Football Club. But this is the shining light about the whole thing, yeah. If Eze comes in, if he steps foot at Arsenal Football Club, it becomes different. He solves our immediate crisis down that left-hand side. His fast pace, his aggression, and of course, you guys know he's a mentality monster. He knows how to play. You guys will have to excuse me. Of course, I'm, switching trains. I have a long distance movement to make, but you guys will still hear me either way. But the thing there is that Eze solves lots of problems for us, lots of immediate problems for us. Eze solves the problem we have in that left-hand side that has been a pain, for us over the years, over 3 seasons. Yeah, we've not actually had any solutions to that left-hand side. With this agreement with Eze, it solves that number 8 problem. He's fast-paced. He's a mentality monster. Even apart from that, yeah, people, yeah, he's that kind of player, yeah, that has an eye for opening defenders. He has that eye for going in behind defenders with his quick dashing runs. He could create lots of situations that will put defending or oppositional players into pandemonium. And of course, you guys know that Arsenal last season had problems, not with teams that actually come out to play one-on-one with us, but we did have problems with teams that decide to just sit back and defend. And that's a bigger problem. Like, that's the modus operandi when you're playing with Arsenal, and it's become a pain because the players we have, the assets we have, can't really do anything. They can't run in behind defenders. They can't open oppositional low blocks, and that's a big problem. Eze solves that problem for us in the left-hand side, while Bukayo Saka is at the right-hand side, causing damage to. Let's not even talk about a main striker. If a main striker is there, Eze is opening up the left-hand side. Bukayo Saka is opening up the right-hand side, and we have a potent striker who's just down there, tucked in the middle of the 18-yard box, ready to just poach in the goals. I mean, it's different, isn't it? So this as a signing makes sense, to a whole new level. But the level you guys aren't seeing is that Eze is a multi-dimensional player, and this is what I mean by that. Eze doesn't only play on that left-hand side. Eze could also be tucked into that number 8 position. You guys know that number 8 position is very important. Declan Rice is holding that down but again, Arsenal would have to switch formations and switch tactics, for him to be in that number 8. But again, we already have someone who is more effective in that number 8. Declan Rice could do a job or two for us down there. But one thing with Eze is that he could be tucked into that area where Martin Odegaard is. And this is a big advantage for Arsenal, because we all know that Martin Odegaard, guys, he last season he just completely ghosted Arsenal. It's a big problem. Your captain, your number 10, the creative spark, as people call him. He just completely ghosted us. And we are in a season, this upcoming season, where we do need all hands on deck. We all need all these players to be dialed in. You have to be dialed in. So, in other words, Odegaard coming back, probably, maybe stronger, maybe not, no problem. You have an Eze that could tactically switch to his position, get Odegaard out, bring in a Martinelli. That's why I don't want to sell Martinelli yet. So you could be able to remove Eze from that left-hand side in terms of tactical switches and tactical formation structure. You can actually remove Eze from that left-hand side, bring Martinelli from the bench. He will go and play in that left-hand side. And you can also remove Martin Odegaard and talk Eze just in that at the top of the midfield diamond to replace Martin Odegaard. And then maybe just then you could see something that could cut through the middle of defenses. And that's where the bigger problem is. It's been so long when I've noticed Odegaard, just going through the middle and just cutting out defenses. And sincerely, that's a big problem. It's a massive problem. So this is a signing on all grounds. It helps out. And you know what, people, even Eze isn't even really that a bad option going forward as a front man if all our strikers are down. He's not a bad option, to be very sincere with you. He has pace, he has he has that eye for goal, yeah. He has that eye for goal. And that's what makes Eze a very, very, very different, unique player. He has that eye for goal. And apart from that, set pieces. Eze is a set piece monster. In case you don't know, he is actually a big set piece monster. He has scored a couple of set piece goals this season. But one of the most notable ones was against Arsenal. There was a free kick he had, and the way he just bent it round and just, with that much power, that much guile, and just, swerved it into the post. And, even if Arsenal eventually won that game, but you could always still see Eze's bite. I mean, yeah, Eze's expertise, it's there. It just needs a little bit of fine tuning and a little bit of hocus pocus around to just really change everything about him. Change, I mean, just translate him into a more deadly attacker, and that's what Arsenal needs. And I have no problem thinking that he can achieve that because you know why? I'll tell you the reason why. He is a Premiership proven player. See ya, people. Yeah, I mean there was a time. Of course, you guys know Ladimus. Yeah, there was a time I was having an argument with Ladimus on my channel about Premiership proven players. I mean, he always felt like when I was arguing with him at that point, he always felt like I have this bias for Premier League players. But I mean, it's a fact that you need, like, what Arsenal need isn't a foreign player to come in and is completely clueless about Arsenal and is completely clueless about England and where they are and how to start and how to acclimatize and how to harmonize themselves into the whole fabric of what Arsenal entails and what it means playing in the Premier League. That's a bigger problem. That's a massive problem for these players that come from outside leagues. I mean, I've seen lots of players here that have come from Italy. I mean, highly rated players, bro. I don't need to give you, yeah, the list. The list, it goes on right from the 2000s. I mean, I don't need to go talk about Shevchenko. I don't need to talk about Crespo. I don't need to talk about Koulibaly. I mean, he was shipped in a box, in a UPS box, fast track, back to Saudi Arabia. Bro, see, the English Premiership, it's a place where you have to come in and let yourself. You have to prove yourself. And that's a bigger problem. And that's my bias for Premiership proven players. It's easier to just come in, slot into that position, and just take it over from there. It's much easier. It's much easier. You don't have to think too much. You know how to move. You know what to do. You know the tricks. You know the ethos that's involved in playing in the English Premiership, and that's what I'm fairly happy about with this Eze acquisition coming up. It's amazing. Of course, £68 million is something that might be so divisive because if you ask me, Eze is a 45-50 million pounder. You know, if you ask me, but I mean, getting him for 68 million isn't bad. I mean, you have to pay the English tax in it. Makes it more difficult. Makes it more, you know. It puts the spotlight on Eze, which I really do understand. You know, if he comes in for a big price tag, it puts that. I mean, it puts that marker on his head. He has to prove himself. He got to prove himself. I mean, £70 million isn't chicken feed these days, yeah, isn't it? That's big money. So when you're coming for that big money, it automatically puts you in that position where you have to perform week in, week out for the football club you get into. And that's why I'm a bit skeptical about the price tag of these players. You know, 75 million euros will put a massive people. It will put a massive marker on his head, you know, and on his prospective performance, you know. So, but again, I like Eze. Premiership proven, just won the FA Cup of Crystal Palace, contributed, saw them through a season that was that had its ups and downs, and he was just there. Yeah, there's a slight worry about his injury record anyway, but it's not a checkered record anyway. You know, it's just slight problems with injuries with him, but it's something that you could manage. You know, and he's one of the star players in Crystal Palace. So, I mean, it represents something amazing. See here, people, Rodrigo. I mean, the interest in Rodrigo has cooled off people, and of course, rightfully so, because when you go in for a player, or when you have an agreement for a Premiership proven player in Eze, I mean, it's easier to navigate your spaces within that parameter, because Real Madrid were beginning to call astronomical figures when we went to them for Rodrigo. And again, even if Rodrigo has already won lots of trophies, I mean, he's won the Champions League, he's won the Spanish La Liga. He's a Brazilian true and true with all that samba flavor working for him. But the thing there is that I am skeptical. I'm so skeptical about players coming down from a foreign league and coming down to the Premiership to perform. You can't really say they are gonna perform. It's a big issue for me, and mostly the price tag that accompany these players from wherever football clubs they're coming from. It's a more bigger issue for me. So, is there a need going to spend almost half of your budget, not a £5 million, if we go by Arsenal's PSR default? Yeah, nearly the entire amount of money, yeah, that Arsenal have got to spend. But again, I'm not including the businesses we've done and some of the businesses that they could do to actually change a lot of stuff, because these football clubs, they know how to move themselves around. Yeah, but the thing there is that with Rodrigo, there's still a risk in that Rodrigo signing. I've also asked insiders in football about Rodrigo. They always tell me that there's concerns with how he trains. There's big issues with how he trains. He might have some certain form of lackadaisical attitude towards training. His performances could dwindle, so we should get ready for a Rodrigo that doesn't perform week in, week out. And again, you could actually see strands of that in his performance in this Club World Cup. His performance is very scintillating enough. Why should Arsenal go and drop £90 million for Rodrigo that will come and give us half performances, half baked performances week in, week out? And is a player that comes with that chip. I mean, it comes with that ego when you've won the Champions League, when you've won numerous La Liga titles. I mean, you have that God-given right to be, a little bit cocky, with your attitude. That little bit of chip on your shoulders will come up. But again, see, it's simple. I don't think we should waste our budget on any other player that will give us the same thing that Eze would give us. Eze is proven in the Premiership. He's played here. He has experience. He has the expertise, and is that guy. I mean, he's that multi-dimensional guy that this manager likes, isn't it? He's that kind of guy that will play in that left-hand side. You can tuck him to the number 8, put him in that number 10, where we have issues. So right now, we don't even need to even bring in a new number 10, because right now we would have a solid personnel or asset that could actually displace Martin Odegaard in the grand scheme of things, replace him at halftime, bring in someone like Martinelli, and let's see what happens. I mean, it's simple tactical approach that could help us. So that's that for AZ. See, people, Arsenal's bid for Mosquera, Christian Mosquera, was rejected. Arsenal went down there to Valencia, dropped 10 million pounds for Christian Mosquera. Although Arsenal already had personal agreement reached with Christian Mosquera, and Mosquera has actually sounded out in an interview that he wants in at Arsenal. Pretty good, Spanish international, Spanish under 21. He's a great kid. For a young kid like that, to have 90 senior appearances for a flagship senior football organization like Valencia, it's something big, it's something huge. So, that's not an astronomical figure. What Valencia is evaluating him about is about 20 to 25 million pounds will do the job. So if Arsenal just up the ante just a little bit, talk to them about some little installments and some little add-ons, it will get to that 20 million, valuation for the player. But I don't think there's anyone really in the race for the player like that, and that's because he's a very, very young player. He's a very young player, and he's strong. He's 6 foot plus. He's one of those kind of defenders that's aggressive, and he understands the basics, and he has a good footballing brain. Tactical in nature also, if you want him to be, and he's always a set piece threat when you want him to be, because when you're as tall as a log of three, 6 foot plus, aggressive, when you're in the opposition box for a set piece, you're always a bigger threat. So he's one of those guys that I would like us to have, and he has said that he's coming to Arsenal to fight for his place, and that makes big sense for me. Any player that's saying, hey, you know what, Saliba is here, Gabriel is here, but I want to fight for my place. I see those words as something different. Come in and try to fight. Personally, I don't trust Kivio. You guys know that Calafiori is a clown. Calafiori is a clown. Kivio is a clown. We don't need these clowns in this football club. But again, it's good for backup, no problem. But if you're not going to sell any of those ones, then bring someone who is capable of being a backup to Saliba and Gabriel. And I do think that this guy, he could work his magic. He's strong, and he's a decent player. Very, very decent player. And his technical abilities is up there. I like the player. 90 senior appearances for Valencia. Do you know what that means in the Spanish La Liga? 90, and you're under 21. That's massive. That's massive. So Arsenal have returned to Valencia with big amount of money. Actually, they just need to go down to Valencia with Valencia's 20 million evaluation and get things popping up. So, that's where we are on that deal. So, Arsenal have returned for that one. And it's a different one. It's a different one because he will come and provide cover for William Saliba. He will provide cover for he could play in a back three, he could play in that position that Saliba is playing. He's mostly a right-footed player, but I've also heard that he could also use both feet, so he could also play on that left-hand side in our centre-back position. He could also play as as the furthermost right hand defender in a flat three. So I mean, you could tuck him into different multi-dimensional areas in that Arsenal defense, which makes complete sense. It makes absolute complete sense because the clowns we have in this football club can't defend. Guys, I mean, I don't need to reiterate this for you. Kivio can't defend. I mean, you guys could eat it up, yeah, with the little performances. Yeah, you guys know he doesn't like England. He hasn't settled here. He doesn't love this place. So why keep players that don't like England? They don't love England, and they want to stay in England. No, get them out of the football club. Bring in players who are ready to fight for their positions, for the positions that's out there. That's what you need to do. You know, get these clowns out. All this Calafiori, bro, they will do nothing for us. Get these clowns out. Bring in players that are willing to fight for the place, and that's what that player said. He said he's willing to fight for his position at Arsenal Football Club. I mean, when last have I heard a player come out and say, you know what, yeah, I want to fight for my position. I want to come and fight for my position at Arsenal. Martinelli can't even do anything. He can't even fight. No fight, no ambition, no urgency. And that's what we have. And that's why our club keeps failing every time. Because we have zombies and clowns out there as backup players. And when you bring them in, they either get injured or they're not just good enough. They're not good enough. You know, they're not good enough. So Arsenal, go back to Valencia. Tell them you made an evaluation mistake, which could be forgiven. Go back there and throw some money up the faces. You know, pay up for this Mosquera guy. If he comes in, bro, our defense is locked in. Locked in. Totally locked in, guys. Locked in. If William Saliba goes down, he's ready. He's ready, people. He's ready to come in. He's ready. Arsenal, just do the right thing. Do the right thing for once. Just do the right thing. See ya, people. There's also big news coming up about, hey, big up to Anthony Herbert. Big ups. Big up to these people, yeah. Nick Gar says, bro, as my, what is this, bro? Bro, what are you doing, man? Anthony Herbert says, hi. Big up, Tony. I want a good transfer window this time. Paul Forwell says, big up, Tony. Big up. Yeah, big up. Big up, Paul. Paul, how are you doing? I hope you're okay. So people here, I mean, this situations, yeah, with Arsenal, it's laughable, isn't it? It's laughable. Guys, news filtering through about Victor Gyökeres. Guys, big news filtering through for that player. And it's such an interesting news here, people, yeah, for the Swedish international. Now, this is what I've heard. I've heard that that teams could go to Sporting Lisbon and put in a bid today for 60 million pounds, yeah? This is the twist of it. It's embedded in his contract. It must be today. It should be 60 million and above. Anything upwards from 60 million. But if it crosses today, it has to be his release clause. That's what I'm hearing right now. So it's it's a different one. It's a very different one. So do you think Arsenal will go for? Do you think Arsenal will go for him? People, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if that will happen because this Gyökeres issue, yeah, it has become something annoying. I'm just wondering why hasn't Arsenal like really like just put in that effort to just close this deal? It looks like a very very simple deal, a very simple one. But I don't know why we're just haggling with this guy. You know. Will Arsenal go to Sporting Lisbon and give them 60 million today? I'm not sure. But we'll keep an eye on that one. Another big one I heard today was Isaac. Guys, I'm hearing that Isaac is revolting at Newcastle. I heard that he doesn't want to sign any extension. Although he has a new contract though, but he has a more longer contract, but he's refusing to sign any kind of like assurances or guarantees of anything new. That's number one. Secondly, he wants out from Arsenal. From Newcastle. He wants to leave. He wants to go, and that's something big. Amy Baba is in the house. Amy said hi. Big ups, Amy Baba. Amy Baba. Amy Baba, what's up, man? How you doing? Hopefully, give you a call later on. And big ups to Paul Folwell. Big ups to Anthony Herbert. My people, my brothers. Of course, I'm traveling, so long distance. So I just have to go do run one or two stuffs here and there. So people, yeah. Isaac wants out. And the truth is that the last time Arsenal went to Newcastle, you guys knew what they said. 120 million. I mean, I even said they're hearing 150 for Isaac. Who is gonna pay? Who's gonna pay? There's money. Who's gonna pay this amount for Isaac? 120. Definitely not Liverpool, because Liverpool just spent a huge budget on Ritz to come from Bayern Leverkusen down to Liverpool. In no way are they gonna agree a deal of about 120 or 150 for Isaac. Of course, there will be a host of clubs that would come in for that, but I'm not sure about who would want to spend 120. Arsenal have that chance though. Premiership proven, decent striker, lanky, can use his head, very, very athletic, can sniff a goal from anywhere in the 18-yard box, is a predator in the 18-yard box. Let's don't even talk about that. If you wanted to come from the wings, it's excellent in that. It likes to get through defenders in set pieces. Oh my God, it's amazing. There's so many things, yeah, about Isaac and what he represents as a player that makes him so different, so unique. It brings something unique, you know. He's not your traditional, he's not your traditional fox in the box kind of striker, but he's that kind of guy that would he'll get you the goods. You never know where the goals are coming from. I mean, although he misses a plethora of chances anyway, but still, on his day, he'll bang in goals. He'll get goals. He's a decent guy. He's a decent guy. Yeah. So, I mean, if I was Arsenal, I would drop all this Victor Gyokeres, all these stories, yeah, and just go see people. And this is where I always have problems, yeah, with many podcasters. When I tell them about Premiership proven players, they always have an issue with me. They always want to argue with me. And I keep telling them, see, is there a need here going for all these foreign players that will come here and struggle rather than going for a Premiership proven player? To me, Isaac is a more better player than Victor Gyokeres in the Premiership. He's an all-round player and definitely a far more respected striker of the ball than Sesko. Definitely, he's up there. No one can argue with that. He's up there. So, don't we want to do something different? If Isaac is free now, let's go for him. Let's go for him. Amy Baba says, I think the bottleneck is the Sporting Lisbon president. We all know Arsenal board will not pay 120k for Isaac. Exactly, man. Arsenal board, I mean, they're moving mad. They're moving mad. But what else? What else can we do? So people, yeah. I also heard that Eze.Isaak, former Chelsea goalkeeper, actually current Chelsea goalkeeper, because that transfer hasn't really gone through yet, is already training at the Arsenal grounds already. I mean, see, people, that's what I want to see. There are pictures of him, already in training. He wants to go for that number one spot, for David Raya's spot. And that's what I want to see, competition for places. See, yeah, people, the only problem I have with that Eze.Isaak signing, yeah, is that he's an ex-Chelsea player. I don't like Chelsea players coming to my football club. It's one of the things I hate the most. But again, it's something you can't, I mean, it's something you can't really complain about, because we have a Golden Glove winner in our football club twice, which is David Raya. So we don't have any big problem with that. So we could use Eze.Isaak for games in the FA Cup, games in the Carling Cup, even some little games in the Premiership that we have total confidence in winning. You give David Raya a big rest and allow him to just sojourn in the Champions League. Freddie Everett says, please stop lying, man. We haven't even contacted Crystal Palace. Bro, I mean, I'm just going with the news we've heard, and you're so tough on me, bro. Can't just say I'm lying, man. The news is out there. We have already agreed personal terms with Eze, with the reports that are out there. I can only go with the reports that are out there. What do you want me to go with? And that Arsenal is in negotiations with Crystal Palace. And of course, when you've agreed, look at how your logic sounds. Yeah, you agree with a player and you don't go to the football club to actually go talk to them. why I agree in the first place. So, Freddie, your argument is totally flawed. It's totally flawed. If you have an agreement with a player, yeah, you've not bought the player at all. So your next move after you've done anything with the player is to go to the football club and talk to them. So why is that such a big thing for you to actually get to understand? But again, it's not an issue, man. You know, these things happen. And again, we've seen lots of times where Arsenal have messed up in the transfer window. So, you know, I don't blame you for having, those, those perceptions. It's Arsenal where anything happens. See ya, people, yeah. Probably in the evening I'll have a show with Oregon Goon this night. So tune in for that one, people, yeah. But for me, I am out of here. Peace, people. Peace.